I just want to hoop, dog.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I just want to hoop. Me having a touch to the younger generation, obviously, is humbling. It's an honor that they connect with me on that level. Cause, and I don't know if I think I talked to him or sent him a message, or just being like, you know what I mean? Cause I know he was getting heat for like, PG, your GOAT, like, and I'm getting heat, like, damn, like, I'm nowhere close to the GOAT. Like, I get it. I'm not close to the GOAT. I'm not the GOAT. But from an inspiring and an impact standpoint, like, it's humbling, bro. Like, ain't no other way to cut it. Cause I've never approached the game. Like, I just want to hoop the hardest I can, play the hardest I can, being inspired by Cole, who was one of my favorite players, who played both ends and wanted to play the hardest that I could. And it's funny enough, and it's crazy that the smoothness came out of nowhere. Because, bro, the raw version of me was nasty. Like, I was talking to the homies the other day about it. Like, I was a center when I first started playing.
Yeah.
Dead ass a center,
That's
like
nasty.
playing in the paint.
That's nasty.
Drop step in the paint.
But I say that like that was when I really knew I love hoops.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, no way in hell they're gonna have me right here. Like I want to be on the perimeter. So that's what drove me to be as smooth and work on my handles and be able to be my size and move and dribble. So that day forward was like really the beginning of like who PG gonna be.
Yeah. So let's go back to what you said. Like you was catching heat. Like we laugh and joke about it. We, that keeps us going. You get what I'm saying? And that's what we're supposed to do. It's father, son. You said something. You said you was catching heat for that. Why? So I'm gonna ask that, but I'm gonna give a story first. Coming up, my favorite player was Bernard King. Right?
You old soul.
You know what I'm saying? I'm an 80s baby. I'm an 80s baby, man. So, like, Bernard King was my favorite player, right? And then as I got older, Vince Carter was my favorite player. 15, headband, hence why. So, I used to catch heat, though. Yo, why you like Bernard King? Yo, why your favorite player ain't Michael Jordan? Your favorite player?
Right.
Catch heat. And I never understood why? And I'm just like, yo, if I liked it, this is who inspired me, this is who inspired me. I don't have to go with the consensus. I don't have to go with the masses. Like, this is who inspired me on a personal level. So I know, I understand what's happening because Bernard was my guy. And then used to be like, nah, you got Michael Jordan. You got Magic. You got all these other players.
They want
like,
you to
why
change
the
your
fuck
player.
you like Bernard King out of everybody? So I had to tell that story. But how does that make you feel that you catch heat for that?
It's just like, cause you like, you know what I mean? Obviously it's for them to attack somebody else or the younger generation or him for that matter, attacking him, like why is he your GOAT? Like how you attack a kid? Like that's who he enjoyed watching. Same situation you was in. Like that's who you enjoyed watching. That's who inspired you to play the game. And just for me, it's like, you know what I mean? People in the comments like, man, he ain't like that. Like, you ain't nowhere close to the GOAT conversation. You ain't won a ring. You ain't an MVP. Like, it's just so much shit. I'm like, damn.
I didn't what the fuck is he fuck me for?
I was asleep. Over somebody that I inspired, though.
Exactly.
Right. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm catching heat over somebody that I inspired. I don't understand this shit either.
Like, I'm doing something good at the end of the day. I'm inspiring the next generation, and then you knocking down something that, you know what I mean? I'm trying to blaze or trailblaze a path for the next generation to even take this shit further than what I took it. So in a way, it's almost like, damn if I do, damn if I don't situation. You know what I mean?
So talking about the next generation. Yeah.
Facts.
Talk about the next generation. We got Kai in the house. Kai, what is it about PG's game that makes you put him in that category of GOAT?
I think he said it, like, just the smoothness that he plays with. Like, I'm not the only person that be saying, like, that's my favorite player. Like, Brandon Miller got a lot of heat for it when he first came in the league. So just, like, the way he play, like, it don't matter about the winning. I just like, seeing him get a bucket. I feel like it's different than the way everybody else get a bucket. So that's the way that, you feel me?
And he mentioned it, man. It's a lot of younger guys that are, like, kind of molding their game after yours. When you were coming up, like you said, you played center, all this stuff. When you were coming up, was that something that you were conscious of? Like, yo, my game gotta be like this in order for me to excel in the league?
You know what? Cause I came from a small town, right? So like being in the league was like, that wasn't even something that you think about. But just growing up, I knew I was different, right? Like I had a different mentality. I wanted to hoop. And I used to love like watching like big wings, right? So obviously Kobe is not necessarily a tall wing, but Kobe was my favorite player. But I love watching T-Mac. I love watching John Salmons. I love watching Josh Howard. You know what I mean?
Dang,
like
you just brought two names back.
Yeah, like those used to inspire me, and people would be like, "Damn, why you like them?" But it was just like they played both ends.
They gonna say who that?
Who? John who?
John Salmons. Salmons.
I don't know.
You don't know who that is?
Nah.
Bro, he was brawling. Right?
Teach him point. Teach him more. Teach him.
I don't know who that is.
So now you got to do your homework.
I know who Juwan Howard is.
He played with Sack.
Not Juwan Howard, boy. Josh Howard.
I know who Josh Howard is. Facts.
Josh Howard had the double wristbands on.
Yeah, I don't know who.
So that those
swag on the court.
That's what
swag on the court.
That's what YouTube is for. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You go in there, boom, Josh Howard, best of Josh Howard.
Now they ain't HD. They videos ain't HD.
They not, but you gotta, you know what I mean? That's why you gotta thug it out. Like, you know what I mean? Put your blue light glasses on.
What number you want?
What is it?
But like that was who inspired me and like who I used to look up to watching and just how they approached the game. They was wings that could guard, could defend, but they could score too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They wasn't necessarily, you know, the high profile guys outside of Kobe and T-Mac, but they was the wings that could kind of do a little bit of everything on the floor. And so that was just like how my upbringing was. I was taller than a lot of the kids in my grade, just growing up every year. But I knew, I tell kids this all the time, like you got to see the player that you want to be. Like you got to know what that looks like. Regardless if you get there or not, or if that's where you think you can get to, that's who you got to see initially. You know what I mean? Because then you know, like, all right, like I know the steps to get there now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you don't want to just take a swing in the dark and like, oh, I hope I become a good shooter. No, you got to envision yourself being a good shooter. You feel me?
That's a fact.
So that's kind of how I always looked at it. And that's even as a kid, that's how I saw myself. But as far as being in the league, I couldn't have told you that was going to happen.
The guys that you watched, it says a lot about your game.
Mm-hmm.
Like those guys, they was two-way players. Like Josh Howard was a real two-way player on the wing, doing what he had to do over there in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Salmons too. Like I know Salmons. Like he was a bucket, but he can get after it too, right? So it makes sense of what you're saying. Like this is seeing your game and watching your game and understanding who you was looking at and watching growing up. It's dope, man.